Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. The National Economic Council is currently underway in Abuja under the chairmanship of Vice President Kashim Shettima. The meeting is the third after inaugurating the council by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Meanwhile, the Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, has announced replacement for some House Committee chairmen who have been appointed as ministers by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In a statement personally signed by the Speaker, Representative Mahmudu Abdullahi is now chairman, House Committee on Army, while Representative Pascal Abodike becomes chairman, House Committee on Hydrological Services. Others are Representative Dennis Idahosa as chairman, House Committee on Healthcare Services, Representative Emmanuel Upongudo, chairman, House Committee on Electronic and Digital Banking, while the House Committee on Institutional Reforms is to be chaired by Representative Bukar Talba. The appointment shall take immediate effect, while the legislative record shall be updated upon resumption of the House from recess. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has struck out the two-count charge bordering on possession of firearms and live ammunition proffered against suspended Governor of Central Bank Godwin Emefiele for lack of diligent prosecution.
While delivering his final ruling on the matter concerning the suspended Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, Justice Nicholas Owebo noted that the conduct of the prosecuting counsel shows that they do not have respect for the rule of law or obey court judgments. Justice Owebo therefore concluded that it is only fair to keep the integrity of the court intact and struck out the charges as it lacks diligence and sufficient prosecution. Former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Ogun State speaks on the ruling and its implications.
To my mind, it was a good decision to make, because if he had refused to strike out the charge and followed the line of thinking of the defense to insist that certain things be done by the prosecution before the charge could be withdrawn, he rightly observed that they would not prosecute the case, and at the end of the day, he would end up striking it out for want of diligent prosecution and lack of evidence.
Meanwhile, the federal government has filed a 20-count charge against the suspended CBN governor. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the arraignment of suspended Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, before the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, sitting in Abuja, has been stalled. Dele Atumbi tells us why.
The government of Nigeria filed a 20-count charge bordering on alleged procurement fraud against the suspended Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and two others. In this criminal matter, the federal government of Nigeria is the prosecutor, while Godwin Emefiele, Saidatu Yaro, and a firm in which the second defendant has economic interest are the defendants. Godwin Emefiele, who was docked on a 20-count charge, could not take his plea due to the absence of the second defendant, Saidatu Yaro. The prosecution counsel, who is the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Abubakar Muhammad, after the matter has been called, informed the court of the absence of the second defendant as a result of ill health. In the light of this, the prosecution counsel pleaded with the court for an adjournment for the prosecution to be able to produce the second defendant in court. Counsel to Emefiele as the first defendant, Akinkuotu Kende SAN, did not oppose the application of the prosecution. Emefiele and two other defendants will be standing trial on a 20-count charge bordering on alleged procurement fraud running to 6.9 billion naira.
They wanted to arraign him today on a 20-count charge bordering on procurement.
The presiding judge, Justice Amsa Mwazu, adjourned the matter to 23rd August 2023 for proper arraignment of the three defendants. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Similarly, the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Birnin Kebbi has upheld the election of Adamu Alero of PDP as senator representing Kebbi Central, dismissing the petition of former Governor Atiku Bagudu of APC for lack of substantial evidence. The report.
The petition filed by former governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, against Muhammadu Adamu Aleru was dismissed on two major counts. First, that the petitioner's witnesses did not have sufficient evidence, and secondly, that it was only the presiding officer who can cancel election of a polling unit in case of Marafa ward. The tribunal, led by Justice Margaret Opara, therefore upheld the election of Adamu Aleru of People's Democratic Party as senator representing Kebbi Central. In a related development, the petitioner in the case of Kebbi South, Senator Bala Ibn Allah's petition was also dismissed for lack of merit. The Justice Opara-led election petition tribunal pointed out that evidence were not coherent and insufficient. Senator Garba Musa Maidoki was therefore affirmed as the senator representing Kebbi South at the upper chamber. Suman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, recent economic policies of government have emphasized the need for ministries, departments, and agencies to imbibe prudent spending of financial resources entrusted for public good. The authority of the Judiciary, having also adopted this principle, is inculcating it in its Finance Directorate under the auspices of the National Judicial Institute. The capacity building workshop in Abuja is also enshrining the tenets of integrity, transparency in public funds management.
All forms of corrupt practices, bearing in mind the provision of Code of Conduct for judicial officers.
Fresh perspectives on how to maximize the judiciary's financial resources are expected from the meeting. And on the security front, 36 armed forces personnel died in the 14th August 2023 air crash and ambush in Zungeru and Shiroro local government areas of Niger State. The Director Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, stated this at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, to clear speculations about the recent attack on the Nigerian Air Force mishap.
Offensive operation entered into an ambush. The ambush resulted in the death of 3 officers, 22 soldiers, while 7 were wounded in action. As a result of this, there was need for casualty evacuation. While that operation was on, the helicopter crashed. One thing is for sure, no group will strike at own troops without injurious consequences.
Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, enjoined citizens to see the ongoing task of securing the nation as a collective responsibility rather than propagating falsehood.
And that is the reason why we continue to advise our citizens to be wary of the kind of things they keep on sending around on social media.
Defense Ismail Musa reports that the military says it has scaled operations to sniff out criminals in the attack. Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for more updates from our center. Over to you, Hingino.
Thank you, Naja'atu. Lagos State Governor Babangida Sanwo-Olu has charged the leadership of the Nigerian Navy to intensify surveillance and enhance marine patrol of the Lagos waterways to check piracy and other forms of crime across the anchorage of the state. The governor gave the charge when he received the chief of the naval staff at the State House in Marina, Lagos. Musa Toliat has details.
With the recent resurgence of criminality on the Gulf of Guinea recorded in the media reports of the International Maritime Bureau, the need for continued robust regional and international naval presence is required to address such security breaches. The visit by the Chief of Naval Staff to the State House is therefore aimed at discussing maritime security and getting the needed approvals to establish and operate naval bases in strategic areas of the state.
Naval bases in different locations in the state, such as the forward operating base at Lekki, which you have provided land for it, the naval outpost at Takwa Bay, which you have also provided. We request your support to facilitate and issue final documentation for these lands so that we can kickstart the development in that area.
Apart from protecting the territorial integrity of the country's maritime domain, Governor Babangida Sanwo-Olu wants the Navy to work with the governments to dislodge traffic challenges around the seaports in Apapa.
In Apapa area, we're making sure that the Apapa grid law are things, of the past, and we'll continue to ensure that we'll put our men in that whole neighborhood, and we'll continue to receive support, security support with LASMA and the Nigerian police, Nigerian Navy, to ensure that we can continue to decongest Apapa port at all times, because that's the gateway, for all of the goods that are coming into the country. We are here to continue to lend our support, and we are here to continue to create the ambience where everybody can live peacefully.
The naval boss also solicited the support of the governor to ensure that officers and ratings of the Navy have decent accommodation to aid their combat readiness. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
While effectively driving a paradigm shift in its anti-smuggling operations, with results reflecting in the frequent interception of goods recently, the Nigerian Customs Service is on the verge of integrating geospatial intelligence to addressing unwholesome importation. The Acting Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, stated this while showcasing about 300 cartons of codeine syrup seized along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Michael Olaleye reports.
While intensifying surveillance aimed at keeping smuggling activities at bay, illegal traders are still resolute in testing the strong wave of the ocean with both feet. The importation of these 299 cartons of codeine clearly explains this, and just like it will be impossible for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle, the Acting Controller General revealed that the consignment was discovered while carrying out physical examination on a DAF truck in Ijebu-Ode junction.
The misuse and the illicit distribution of codeine-containing medications have given rise to grave security and public health concerns, contributing to a surge in addiction, adverse health effects, and societal challenges.
From Imashai in Ogun State down to Ado-Ekiti, more than 4,200 bags of foreign rice were intercepted within 2 weeks, while 5,600 liters of fuel were equally seized. The Acting Controller General of Customs explained that it is a demonstration of renewed vigor to put smugglers out of business, hoping that its partnership with border communities will further help to actualize these.
We also need to take a notch further our corporate social responsibility plan to bring those members of those communities where we operate under our fold and see what we can do to improve their lots.
Since the future is technology-driven, the Nigeria Customs Service said geospatial intelligence is being explored as a short-term alternative to its modernization projects. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take some messages. The news will continue in just. But before then, do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates.
Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to JOS. We begin with matters of security. As Commissioner of Police, Plateau State, Julius Okoro Alawari says the command has re-strategized and deployed new operational methods to tackling security challenges in the state. He gave this indication while briefing newsmen in JOS. Ndenyan Andeaba Gang reports.
The Commissioner of Police says he has painstakingly studied the security architecture of Plateau State, outlining kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery, and arms running, as well as farmer-herder conflict and cattle rustling as some major areas of concern, especially in Barkin-Ladi, Mango, and local government areas. To efficiently tackle these security challenges, the command is designing workable security templates for effective policing of the state.
What designing a workable security template for effective policing of the state, I noticed that there are certain local government areas that need more police stations and security presence. All those areas will be taken care of.
He also reiterated the command's commitment to working with other security agencies and security help groups in protecting lives and property of citizens.
We are making arrangements for a robust training for you through the State's Intelligence Bureau, SIB, and the Police Public Relations Department.
While appreciating the robust relationship with the media, the Commissioner of Police called for more collaboration as he paraded 2 suspects in connection with Mango attacks and others for culpable homicide, armed robbery, and banditry in Jos, Benue, and the Abuja, NTA News.
Away from security issues, a media dialogue to commemorate the 2023 World Breastfeeding Week in Azure, Bauchi State is emphasizing the need to enhance infant nutrition and raising awareness on policies that will encourage exclusive breastfeeding, particularly among working mothers. Nigerian and Babangida again has details.
The media dialogue, which drew participants from 5 states under the Bauchi Field Office, Adamawa, Plateau, Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba states, is part of efforts by the UNICEF towards drawing the public and political attention to the critical role of exclusive breastfeeding in infant nutrition. Themed Enabling Breastfeeding, Making a Difference for Working Parents, the media dialogue afforded participants the opportunity to brainstorm on enhancing infant nutrition and raising awareness on the need for policies that will encourage exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a child's life, especially amongst working mothers.
To ensure that women breastfeed their children exclusively for the first 6 months.
UNICEF Bauchi Field Office notes that breast milk remains the first vaccine for every child, as babies that are breastfed are healthier.
Employers must provide the needed assistance for mothers and caregivers, including those in the informal sector who are temporarily confined to conveniently breastfeed or support breastfeeding.
Presentations focus on adopting a holistic approach towards ensuring the buy-in of all critical players and enactment of laws that will encourage exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. From Azare in Bauchi State, Benue and the Abuja, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Najatu is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. President Bola Tinubu has assigned portfolios to those who scaled through to form his cabinet for smooth operation of his administration. Until their swearing in, which is expected on Monday, here is the full list of the ministers and their portfolios.
Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, Minister of State, Environment and Ecological Management, Ishak Salako, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edu, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Bumi Tunji, Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, Minister of State, Health and Social Welfare, Tunji Alausa, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, Minister of Transportation, Adeboyega Oyetola, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Anite, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy, Minister of Works, David Umahi, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kemo, Minister of Youth, Abubakar Momo, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Peter Edu, Minister of State, Gas Resources, Ekberikpe Egbo, Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Heniken Olokbobere, Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, Minister of Art, Culture and the Creative Economy, Hanatu Musawa, Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, Minister of State Defense, Bello Matawale, Minister of State Education, Yusuf Sunomu, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, Abdallah Gwarzo, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, Minister of State, Federal Capital Territory, Mary Mahmood, Minister of State, Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Goronyo, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kiari, Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, Minister of Interior, Saidu Alkali, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gedam, Minister of State, Steel Development, Meigari Amadu, Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Audu, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, Minister of State, Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zephaniah Jaselu, Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Joseph Usef, Minister of State Agriculture and Food Security, Aliu Sabi Abdullahi.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has charged traditional rulers to support the vaccination of children in polio and other vaccine diseases for a progressive nation. Haruna Muhammad reports that the Sultan gave the charge at the strategic meeting of traditional rulers by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, which was held in Kaduna.
It is a strategic meeting of traditional leaders, UNICEF, World Health Organization, and the National Primary Health Care Development Agency. On the table are modalities for vaccination and accessibility in hard-to-reach areas for an all-variant polio-free nation. Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, in his address called on traditional leaders to support and provide mitigation suggestions towards ensuring every mother and child is vaccinated.
We have just started this long struggle of ensuring our children are immunized, are healthy, because health is wealth.
That once there's an area of vulnerability, all our children become vulnerable.
For the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and its developmental partners, they seek to eradicate the circulating type 2 polio virus by December 2023.
Known as the circulating variant polio virus CVPV2. We have the tools, the knowledge, the experience, and the unwavering spirit to achieve this monumental task. Your leadership can accelerate our progress.
Our Royal Father to really take opportunity and ownership of vaccination services.
Has supported the states with campaign vaccines, such as the delivery of about 28 million doses of FIPV, 26 million units of 0.1 milliliter syringes, and 135 million doses of MOPV vaccines.
The meeting is targeted at adopting resolutions based on communities' suggestions and information for a vaccination-free society. In Kaduna, I am Haruna Muhammad, NTA.
Now, the renewed hope health agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intends to cover more than 50 million Nigerians, mostly the vulnerable. The special advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Ibrahim Anas, said this at the National Healthy Aging Summit in Abuja, noting that the President is committed to achieving this within the next 4 years. Basi Taibang reports.
This is a gathering of senior citizens, but as I walked into the venue, I spotted women below the age of 60, and my curiosity led me to chatting with them. Mary is a widow who is also benefiting from discussions here. The summit is aimed at charting a new course for the care of the elderly.
Healthy aging, very, very important. Right now, the elderly cannot access quality health care in Nigeria. I don't think anywhere in Nigeria that has been achieved. So we need that.
Educational opportunities, social protection, health investments, social infrastructure, physical environment, your neighborhoods and support networks determine longevity and quality of life. That's what healthy aging is about.
With the global data of 703 million persons aged 65 in 2019, the WHO country representative fears the number may double in the next 3 years.
Reiterate WHO commitment to support and actively participate in this partnership journey toward achieving the desired outcome in line with the UN resolution for the decade of healthy aging.
Special advisor to the President on Health Matters says the President is committed to meeting the universal health coverage, including good health for the elderly.
Provide a focused care and quality health care for the aged and specialized services that will meet their needs through capacity building.
The summit therefore advocates developing an international policy framework for the elderly in line with SDGs 1, 2, 3, and 5. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission is advocating full implementation of the Maputo Protocol, which seeks promotion and protection of women's rights, gender equality, and women empowerment. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, said this at a stakeholders' engagement in Abuja, commemorating the 20th anniversary of the Maputo Protocol.
Very important that every country must take practical, both policy and legal steps to make sure that the principles, the ideas, the rights recognized under the Maputo Protocol are really domesticated.
But we realize there's still a lot of work to do. The UN is currently working on a number of initiatives in partnership with the government and a number of agencies, but there's a lot to do in terms of seeking to prevent.
One of the challenges is deliberate lack of political will. That is when I say deliberate, because other areas they put in energy. If they want something, they get it done.
The occasion is also being used to evaluate global efforts in advancing human rights, poverty alleviation, as well as ensuring full implementation of the Maputo Protocol in African countries. Charles is in Makurdi with more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Charles.
And a warm welcome to Makurdi. Warring communities of Opute in Oju and Bonta in constitutional local government areas of Benue State have agreed to live in peace and harmony for the overall development of the state. They made the resolve at the instance of the meeting of traditional leaders headed by the Benue State government during the signing of Natural Resources Peace Agreement facilitated by the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. Moses Ajau Ode completes the report.
For over 2 decades, Bonta and Opute communities and other communities of Oju and Konshusha local government areas of the state have been engrossed in communal clashes over natural resources, resulting in loss of lives and property. Several attempts by government and concerned individuals to address this ugly trend met brick walls. It is in this regard that a non-governmental organization, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, began the mediation effort in 2022 towards restoring peace to the affected communities.
We must forge the path to peace, first in Oju and Konshisha, because they have suffered the most and harbors many of the most depressed communities in their local government area.
Benue State Governor Hyacinthe Alia, who was represented by his deputy, Sam Ode, reiterated government resolve to collaborate with traditional institutions, concerned groups and individuals in addressing security challenges in the state.
Development and economic growth in any society cannot be achieved without peace.
If we are prepared to sit together and discuss, there will be no difficulty in maintaining peace.
Totally every involvement of our land, we are with the support of this peace. And we are going to maintain it to the glory.
The peace accord was signed by members of the 2 communities and the traditional institutions with a call on government to urgently demarcate the disputed boundaries.
From Maputo, Moses Ajau, NTA News.
3 committees have been inaugurated in Benue State to check illegal roadblocks mining and unauthorized cutting of economic trees. Governor Hyacinth Alia, who inaugurated the committees, charged them to carry out their assignments without fear or favor.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, while inaugurating the 3 task force committees on illegal roadblocks, mining and cutting down of economic trees, said activities such as these constituted security threats on residents of the state. He therefore urged members of the committee to show diligence, accountability and transparency in carrying out their assignments.
Had a number of illegal roadblocks, thereby causing insecurities, and same with mining, where when you get out there in the fields, you see lots of guns and machetes, but it is your own prerogative to ensure that insecurity does not come back to Benue.
Responding on behalf of the 3 committees, Colonel Fidelis Chile, retired, pledged to put in their best, knowing fully well the task ahead of them. The committees are also tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that due processes are followed in any exploration activity in the state. In Makurdi, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
That report ends our contribution from Makurdi. Agatha is in our Benin Network Center to continue with the news after this timeout. Please stay.
On nationwide, this is Benin. Our Ekiti State government is strengthening collaboration with traditional institutions to promote peace, unity, and fast-track feasible development in the state. Governor Biodun Oyebanji affirmed this while inaugurating the new chairman, Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers. Olukemi Sani has details.
With the completion of 2-year tenure of the last traditional council chairman, the appointment of the new one becomes necessary in accordance with the enabling laws guiding the traditional council in Ekiti State. This signals the reconstitution and inauguration of another council under the 13th chairmanship of Oba Ayorinde Ilori Faboro, the Olojudo of Ido-Ekiti. Governor Oyebanji urged the new chairman to use his position to promote peace, unity, harmony and effective representation of all kingdoms in Ekiti State.
We acknowledge the enormity of the burden you carry in ensuring peace and development in your kingdoms. Therefore, we will remain committed to the welfare of our royal fathers.
The new chairman, Oba Ayorinde Ilori Faboro, appreciated the governor and the council for the opportunity given to serve and to live up to expectations.
I call this very to my government because this is a golden time for prosperity. May your administration continue to prosper in peace and prosperity.
Highlight of the ceremony was the presentation of vehicles to the new chairman to aid his assignments within and outside the states. In Ado-Ekiti, Olukemi Sani, NTA News.
And wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu has underscored the need for empowerment of more young women for self-reliance. This, she says, is to alleviate poverty in the country. It was at the opening of the 2023 Be More Summer Boot Camp in Akure. Oluwakemi Aino reports.
The Be More Summer Boot Camp, an initiative of the wife of the Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, is aimed at empowering the girl child and women for self-reliance through vocational skills training and to promote gender equality. The wife of the state governor Betty Akeredolu, who addressed the Be More Boot Camp virtually, encouraged the girls to reach for their goals no matter the circumstances of life. She said over 3,000 young girls have been trained on various skills since inception 6 years ago.
The strides of ambassadors are living testimonies of what Be More has done and what Be More can do. Thus far, we have convincingly demonstrated the fact that educating the girl child is not a waste.
The The acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, who declared open the summer boot camp, advised Bimo girls to make good use of the opportunity given them by the Empowerment Skills Acquisition Training.
The training program will help unleash your energies and potential, bringing out the best in you and fortify you to take a bold step about life.
The 2023 edition of the annual Bimo Summer Boot Camp will end on the 26th of August 2023 in Akure, Oluwakemi Aino, NTA News.
That's our package. Najatu in Abuja has the rest of Nationwide. Good evening.
Good evening, Agatha. Thank you. Governor Niger State Muhammad Umaru Bago has described former military head of state General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, GCFR, as a living legend as he turns 82. In a birthday message, Governor Muhammad Umaru Bago describes the former head of state as a true patriot and nationalist who has made tremendous contributions to shaping the nation's history. The governor and people of Niger therefore pray Allah to grant the celebrant good health and strength to continue to provide wise counsel to the nation. A few weeks ago, social media was awash with stories of an outbreak of deadly disease, anthrax, in Benue State. However, health experts say there is no cause for alarm, as shown from the sample tested at the National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM. Simbiat Agbaji has the details.
Weeks ago, there was apprehension among residents in Makurdi metropolis following reports on social media speculating that there was an outbreak of anthrax.
Goats, like cow, and other animals, they are not supposed to be reared. You think where the human beings are, we can easily contact all those diseases from them.
For me, I'm just hearing this for the first time. I'm not really aware of such disease, outbreak in the state.
However, the Department of Veterinary Services under the State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources had to debunk the claim. To further curtail the spread of anthrax in case of its outbreak in the state, the Benue State Governor, Hyacinth Alia, inaugurated a task force committee on anthrax prevention and control with a mandate to work towards averting an outbreak in Makurdi.
For more insight and updates, Simbiat Agbaji will be joining us live from Makurdi for details on the situation. Simbiat.
Good evening, Janatu.
Thank you. Situation. We've already gotten a background from your report, but what's the latest? Can you hear me, Simbiat? Simbiat, what's the latest? Can you hear me? What's the latest? Bulletin. Meanwhile, the youth can now actively participate in Nigeria's export value chain with so many untapped potentials. This follows the launch of the Youth for Export program, YEP, which aims at driving sustainable economic growth and foreign exchange earnings for the country. Comfort Amadu reports that the initiative, which has been launched in Abuja, is a collaboration between the NEPC and trade partners.
Nigerian's non-oil export has seen an increase in export performance, revenue base, foreign exchange earnings, and enhanced regional integration in recent times. It's a trajectory that the government is keen to sustain for economic growth and production capacity, with MSMEs, particularly youths, venturing into trade and export. This explains launch of the Youth for Export program, YEP, by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, to turn the situation around through the Nigerian Exporters Hub, Next Hub.
In the long run, we hope that a lot of jobs will be created and the incessant case of social unrest, instability, and youth restiveness will be curbed.
We want to handhold you and teach you how to export, and we will give you off-takers.
The NEPC is also working with the National Youth Service Corps and other implementing partners to deepen the impact of YEP, designed to empower youths and bridge the knowledge gap of youths in export business.
Some of our core members have already taken advantage of this opportunity by exporting 3 containers of ginger to China.
Already, the youths have taken to the program with keen interest, promising to leverage its opportunities as the government mainstream youth participation in non-oil exports.
We have some specific agro-commodities that are exportables. So with Nexub, exportation is seamless.
YEP is also designed to connect youths in business to NEPC vertical strategic plan of export for survival initiatives in Abuja, Comfort, and Modu. NTA News.
Now we'll be rejoining Simbiat to tell us more about the situation on anthrax in Makurdi. Simbiat, if you can hear me, tell us more about the test results and what this means for the health of livestock and, of course, people traveling to the state and residents as well.
Thank you, Najanatu. Following the outbreak of the rumors of the outbreak of anthrax in the state, samples were taken from the said infected animal and sent to the National Veterinary Research Institute in VOM. With me here for the results of that test and more is the Director of Veterinary Services, Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources. He is also the chairman of the just inaugurated Task Force on Anthrax Prevention and Control, Dr. Edward Amali. Sir, can you tell us the outcome of the samples that were taken to the Veterinary Institute?
Thank you very much. To Benue State, the sample that was sent to the NVRI in Jos came out negative. It came out negative, and we're trying to say to the general public that information on Facebook, on the social media, should truly be confirmed before they are set out to the public for public consumption. And I'm trying to say that they should also allow time for confirmation. The effect, the down effect on the people of the state has been so serious because here in Benue State, they take seriously the issue of pork meat. They feed more on pork meat than any other meat. And this affects cattle, it affects pigs, it affects sheep and goat. And by the time you go to the market, the play in this area and its value chain have been played down. There has been no sale, a reduced consumption of cattle, of beef, of pork, and the rest. So we are saying, let them be patient and allow for confirmation of this kind of cases that are of very serious importance to the public. So they have caused a lot of, the report has caused a lot of damage to the economy of the state, to the health of the people, well-being of the people of the state. So we are just appealing to report to the correct the authorities are meant to take over and confirm these situations and announce to the public. There are arms of government that are responsible for that. These are very sensitive, these are very serious matters.
Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you very much. Now back to the studio for continuation of the ride.
Well, thank you, Simbiat. We'll be expecting more updates. And of course, from that report, from Simbiat's report, the general public is advised to disregard the social media post as a rumor. Following the raid on a community children's home at Nkwele, Ezunaka, where 19 children, including a month-old baby, were rescued, the Anambra State government and NAPTIP have mapped out more strategies to curb the ugly trend of stealing children, as well as illegal adoption and illegal fostering. Chinyere Fesi Okoye tells us more.
Buying and selling of children is not the sole aim of establishing orphanage homes. This is the reason this meeting is being organized by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Anambra State.
Remember the person on top of this administration. He has zero tolerance to illegality. So if you know you love what you're doing, run away from it. And I will stand and say this. We did not and we never appoint any consultant to handle adoption in Anambra State.
But some bad eggs among you, I don't know if they are here, are doing things in an illegal way. We are NAPTIP, law enforcement agencies. Our own is just to arrest anybody that have gone contrary to the law as it concerns adoption. And what we call it is buying and selling of human beings. And this act of buying and selling are mostly perpetrated by people that have homes.
Ignorance of the law, they say, is never an excuse. Therefore, there is need for collective efforts. When you see them, expose them.
I urge the ministry to ensure that they are doing the needful by ensuring that they are close to the homes.
A stitch in time, they say, saves 9. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News. And from Oka, we head to Ilorin, where the remains of Nigeria's ambassador to France, Ambassador Kayode Laro, have been laid to rest in his Ilorin family house. Abdulhafiz Alaya reports that the janaza prayer for the late diplomat was led by the chief imam of Ilorin and attracted dignitaries including Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak. His report is presented.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, in company of other dignitaries and family members of the deceased, received the body of Ambassador Kayode Laro for immediate burial. The chief imam of Ilorin, Sheikh Muhammad Bashir Soliu, led sympathizers in a janaza prayer for the repose of the soul of the late diplomat.
Assalamu alaikum.
His remains were later committed to the Mother Earth amidst glowing tributes from dignitaries as well as family and friends.
He was very firm, was very courteous, and an enigma, because all of us in the foreign service, we look up to him.
The late career diplomat, whose years in the foreign service spanned 35 years before retirement and got appointed as Nigeria's ambassador to France in 2021, died on Friday, August 11, 2023, in Paris, France, after a protracted illness.
On that note, we conclude Nationwide on NTA. Thanks for watching.